Hello, I'm Howie Sheriff, and welcome to another show from You Call This Yoga, an educational nonprofit organization. We have an excellent show today in that we have two guests all the way from California. Cheri Clampett and Arturo Peale are in town teaching therapeutic yoga. They've joined me in our home studio for a special showing of their style of this practice. Let's join Cheri and Arturo.
Namaste. I'm Cheri Clampett and this is Arturo Peale, and we're so happy that you've joined us today for a therapeutic yoga session. I'd like you to go ahead now and gather your props. So if you have yoga props, great. If not, you can grab a couple of throw pillows, a pillow from your bed, some blankets. Even towels can work great. So whatever you have, just bring it to your space. If you have an eye pillow, that's great. If you don't, a sleeve of a shirt, even a sock will work. And we're going to start by making sure that we're comfortable in the seated position. So you can either practice this session in a chair, or you can come to the floor on your yoga mat, whatever's best for your body. And I encourage you to just really listen, feel free to modify, to adjust the practice for where you are today. So we're going to start seated, so maybe you'll get a pillow or two to go under your knees if your knees are all sensitive. You can add an extra bit of lift under your hips, even with a few towels, and just making sure that you're comfortable. And I find if the knees get a little tender, bringing the feet further away from the hips can be nice with some extra cushion so that you feel really good. But whatever works for your body. And we're going to start with a practice that I love to do. It's called the me time practice. And it's where at any time during the day or even before going to sleep at night, you put one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart, and you close your eyes. So I invite you to join me and try this at home. As you place your hands on your body, begin to feel inside, turning your awareness from the outer world to your inner world, and begin to deepen your breath. Taking a few slow, deep breaths. And as you breathe into your body, relaxing any tight places, letting the shoulders soften, heart lift, and feeling your hips sinking down into the chair or the pillows or blankets beneath you. And the first step in the me time practice, after really settling and taking a few deep breaths, is to turn to your body and ask it, how are you today? Just as you would a good friend, how are you? And then take a few moments to listen. And then the second question is, what can I give you for your greatest wellness and well-being? What do you need? And then taking a few moments to listen. And you may notice that the answer doesn't come always in words, but sometimes in sensations or in aha. So taking a moment to just really tune in and see what the body needs. Final step for the me time practice is to follow through with whatever your body told you. So at some point, if it said, I'm thirsty, get a glass of water. If it needs to rest, you give it that rest. And I recommend trying this several times a day. But it may have given you some insight as to where your body is, how it's feeling, and what it needs in the practice today. it may say, I want to sit in the chair rather than the floor. So just really honoring the communication that you received. Now, whether you're on the floor or in the chair, we're going to begin now with a gentle seated cat-cow. And with your hands on your knees as you inhale, you'll let your pelvis rock forward, lifting the chest, opening the heart, gazing up between the brows as the front body opens. And as you exhale, begin to tuck the pelvis towards the navel, pulling the stomach muscles in, leaning back. And sometimes I like to take my knees up if I'm sitting on the floor to help counterbalance that leaning back, to stretch right behind the heart. Inhaling, rocking the hips forward. And you'll notice in a chair you can do this beautifully by scooting your hips forward a little bit in the chair. It gives you a little more space, especially as you go deeper in the pose, to lean all the way back and really get a nice amount of stretch without running into the back of the chair. So this is nice. You can do it if you have a short break at work and you're sitting at the computer. This helps to release congestion in the spine and to really open the free flow of energy as the muscular tension releases. We'll take just 3 more at your own pace. Inhaling deeply as the chest lifts, keeping the shoulders drawn back and down away from the ears. Exhaling, long, slow exhalation, releasing all of the air. You might start to feel a little bit warm. The other thing I really like about this pose is it helps to activate the stomach muscles, our core muscles, and to even massage some of the organs in the abdominal region. And this time, as you're leaning back, you're just going to gently tilt your head side to side and notice how your neck feels. Is there tension? And then we'll slowly come all the way up, sitting tall, and we'll release our left ear towards our left shoulder. So for you at home, it'll be your right, it'll be the other way. And just stretching along that side of the neck and releasing the hand on that same side towards the earth to give a deeper stretch. You can visualize your breath flowing into any tight areas, and that will help to release congestion and tension in the shoulders. Softening the shoulder down and away from the ear, letting go of all that gets carried in the shoulders. Our bags, purses, groceries, but also people, concerns of the world, letting that all go. Taking another deep breath. And then you'll rotate your head forward, chin to chest, and you'll change sides, bringing your hand back to your knee, softening ear to shoulder, releasing the hand on that same side you're tilting away from towards the earth, and just letting it release down so you can receive a deeper stretch, finding for you the right amount of stretch so it's not too strong. You can easily breathe deeply, and then breathing right into the tight or tender places. As you exhale, breathing out of the shoulder, even down through the fingertips, any held tension. Letting it go. Let the shoulders soften away from the sky. Giving time to release what gets carried. One more deep breath here. And then allowing your chin to come back towards your shoulder. Good. And we'll just stretch our legs out in front of us now. And even if you're in a chair, you can do that. And we're just going to do a little love pat up and down the legs. I love to get the energy flowing, and especially when you've been sitting, it can be really nice. Get the circulation flowing, stimulating the meridian lines. You can go down the front of the leg too. Just kind of stretch that out and get that good chi, good prana flowing. And while you're here, you can point your toes and flex your feet. So you're in staff pose, Dandasana if you're on the floor. If you're in the chair, you can press your hands into the outside of the chair and lift your chest, pull the shoulders together and down and away from the ears. And then we'll circle our ankles. And ankle flexibility is important for balance, especially as we get older. We want keep our ankles really flexible, and this is a good way to do it. I do this in bed before I get up first thing in the morning. So we've been asleep all night, and it's nice to warm up the ankles before putting some pressure on them. Breathing deeply. Let's go both directions a few times. And just noticing how it feels. You may notice one side's different than the other. We're often not perfectly balanced, but it gives us a lot of information as we do yoga as to where our imbalances lie, and stretching those tight areas is great. Good, and just shake them out a little bit. Good, and next we're going to move our throw pillows off to the side, and you'll need a blanket or even two. So if you've had a knee replacement and you're working on the floor, you might need 2 blankets. So we would take one blanket flat, and if you need a little more padding, you can use 2. Or if you've had a knee replacement, you'll use 2, and you'll float your knee so your patella doesn't have any pressure on it in this pose. If you don't need that, one might be fine, but I say, why not give the body a little extra love, a little extra softness today? So I'm going to double that, and Arturo's going to do this in the chair with one leg at a time, and I'll be showing what's called the Tibetan hip circles. This is done in Tibet, and this helps to release the synovial fluid in our hip joints. And this is the WD-40 of the hip, of the joint. So it lubricates the joint. Motion is lotion for the inner body. Movement helps to lubricate. So you might have noticed I'm on my knees, but my hands are a little forward of my shoulders, so as my hips come forward, there's not a lot of pressure on my wrists. If perchance that was too strong to have my hands, let's say I've had a wrist injury, you can do this on your forearms. That'll work too. And just whatever works for you. And remembering that you can always modify. Once you learn these modifications, you can take them as needed. So Arturo's doing one knee beautifully, really showing how you can lubricate your hip joints in a chair. And we're going to come back to center now. And now he's going to do the other leg, and I'm going to go the other direction. Breathing deeply. And the circular movement can be as small or as large as you like. So feeling into what feels right for your body. And I can feel in this, my right hip's a little tighter than my left. So I'm becoming aware of my own body and a little bit of tension there. So that's really helpful, and I might do a little stretch for my hip at the end of the session, and for your hips as well. Just a few more, breathing deeply. Moving with awareness. Our practice has a quality of mindfulness. And we slow everything down. Easeful and gentle. Last time, we're going to come back to center. Good, and I'm going to walk my hands back in, and I'm going to come off of my double blanket, and I'm going to fold them in half now. I'm going to stack one on top of the other, and I'm going to put this in front of me, and this is going to become like a yoga bolster. So if you have a yoga bolster, you can use a yoga bolster instead, and if you don't have a yoga bolster, try the double stack blankets or towels. You can use towels too. We're just going to put a pillow right on top of that, so it's just as nice as a bolster, or almost, and even a little softer, I think. And then we're going to start by bringing our legs over and slowly coming back. And so I like to use my stomach muscles here to build some strength there. But if for any reason that doesn't work for you, keep your hands behind you for support. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention is I can use that second bed pillow or another pillow I have to support my head here. If you have an eye pillow, you might even want to put it on your upper thigh just so you know where it is before you come back. And so slowly coming back, or using your hands for support if you need it, and putting the pillow just under the head. Now Arturo is going to do this with his feet kind of wide and rocking his knees from side to side, and I'm going to do it with my feet on top of the pillow. This is called Windshield wiper pose. I'll extend my arms out to the sides a nice distance away, kind of like airplane wings. And as I inhale, the knees are going to face the sky. And as I exhale, I'm going to go first to the right to stretch my left hip, which is a little less tight. Just noting how that feels on that side. Relaxing my knees towards the floor gently. As far as you go is good. And then I'm going to inhale first the knee, left knee or this side, and then I'm gently going to let the other knee come through and across. So it's a little variation of windshield wiper where we come through a butterfly. Good, and then slowly going back up or opening with one side, having the other knee come up, and then we'll rotate in. And this becomes a meditation in motion, so you want to do it nice and slow. Always think of the windshield wiper on a very light mist, not a heavy rain, and just kind of feeling what feels good to you. So I'm just listening to my body, and I'm going to begin to turn my head opposite now to the movement of the knees. So this gets a little additional rotation through my neck. Deep breath in as the legs start to open. Exhaling to the other side, and that's already loosening up my hip, but you might find that at home too. And as you practice this, it's another way to really massage out your hips, your low back, just the rocking motion itself, as well as the neck and the base of the skull. Sometimes I like to take a towel and roll it and put that firm roll right under my neck, so it kind of catches the base of my skull as I turn my head from side to side, and that can be really additionally nice for stretching my neck. So you can play with your props at home and see what feels good. And now I'm kind of moving through a little more of a windshield wiper with both the knees coming up at the same time and going down at the same time. So we're changing that just a bit. Inhaling to center, head to center, exhaling to the other side. And by the way, this is a very good pose if you've suffered some trauma or you've had a recent upset. It stimulates a gentle movement, the right and left side of the brain, and it's very calming for the nervous system. And so you may be noticing that as you explore this movement, this nice yoga movement. Good. And then the next time you come back to center, you're going to bring your knees towards your chest. And you can do it one at a time like Arturo will do, or you can, if you're laying down, you can do it together, knees together, and either rocking or just holding the stretch, whatever you prefer. And then when you're done, you're going to take your feet to the floor. And if you're in the chair, you're going to walk the insteps of your feet together and just let your knees open as wide as they comfortably do. If you're laying on the floor, you're in a bed, you can just take your feet over your yoga props, your bolster or your blankets and your pillow, and you'll scoop them with your heels as close to your sits bones as you can get them. And then you'll gently let your knees open. So you'll come into whatever variation of butterfly feels good to your body. And I'm actually going to remove the pillow and try another prop. So you can play with your props as you go through the different poses. And sometimes you'll need something a little different. So I'm just adjusting my prop here, and I think this is going to feel better for my neck. So, so what you want to find is what I call the sweet spot, the place where everything feels relaxed and open. And if it doesn't, play with your props a little bit. See if you can find another position that really feels good to you. From here, we're going to bring our hands together. We're going to rub our hands together. This is called palming. We're going to gather the chi, the energy in our hands, and we're going to take our hands to anywhere at all that needs healing. So perhaps there's a place that needs healing, or even a place that just feels tight for you. And because we have two hands, you're welcome to take one hand to one part of the body, one hand to another, and feeling the warmth flooding from your hands into your body, and visualize breathing in this healing energy. Feel it bathing the tissues of your body and relaxing and soothing everything it touches. And then when you're done, I'd like you to take your hands to your forehead, to the center of your forehead, between the brows and up slightly. In yoga we call this the third eye, the Ajna chakra, and we're going to gently press down, slide our hands apart, and massage the temples for a moment. This is an area where we can get very tight if we've been thinking a lot, worrying. So just massaging that out. And you can do it a few times if that feels good, massaging open the third eye by taking your hands to your forehead, sliding the hands open to the temples and massaging the temples. And then when you're done, sweep your hands to wherever they feel comfortable. So if you're sitting in a chair, it might be your lap, or it could be your body if that's feeling good. And then those of you that are lying down, this is a good time to place your eye pillow over your eyes. Sometimes too, I like to use a little aromatherapy here, anointing myself. So if you have some, you're welcome to use it. And then we'll just move into a few minutes of quietude in this variation of a butterfly, resting butterfly. And it's nice because we sit a lot, so it really opens the hips. And you can just let your whole body relax, feeling the pull of the gravity and letting yourself sink down into the embrace of the earth. Inviting all of your muscles to get heavy and relaxed. Feeling the gentle rhythm of your breath flowing in and flowing out. And with each exhalation, sinking down into the support of the earth, growing more and more heavy, more and more relaxed with each breath. Visualize now a brilliant, beautiful light within you, softly expanding. From within, this light fills every cell of your body with brilliant, healing energy. Fills your organs, even your bones, and flows to the edges of your skin. You feel a glow around your whole body. A cocoon of light. You now are floating peacefully, feeling safe, warm, and relaxed. you can start to come back from your relaxation, or feel free to stay longer if you're wanting to stay longer. If you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Turning your head from side to side. Letting your legs slide out in front of you. Feel free to draw your knees up if you're laying back, and you'll make your way onto whatever side feels most comfortable, keeping the support under your head, blankets, or pillows, or towels. Take a breath or two here. And keeping your head heavy as you make your way up to seated. And you're welcome to just come and sit right on top of the pillow. Bringing your hands into Anjali Mudra at the heart. Honoring the light, the divine within you. Namaste. Thank you for joining us today. So wonderful to be with you.
Thank you, Cheri and Arturo. We appreciate you sharing and adapting your therapeutic practices. For viewers, please visit our website, youcallthisyoga.org, for articles, information, events, and other health tips. Visit our YouTube channel, You Call This Yoga, to see our library of other videos. We look forward to seeing you again soon. Namaste.